Star Wars Rogue One. No, I'm not calling it that. I refuse. It sounds childish and it sounds dumb. I know, I get what they're doing. They're trying to make them stand apart from the saga films, but I don't care. It's dumb. Star Wars Rogue One is a prequel to the first original Star Wars movie. I know, I'm not calling that one A New Hope. I'm not. I'm calling it Star Wars. Which I think is odd that this one's considered the first anthology film, the first standalone film, because really, this movie has way more to do with the original trilogy than the prequels ever did. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the first half of Rogue One was kinda slow and boring. Daggett from The Dark Knight Rises plays an Imperial officer dude, and he's cool, he's okay, he's one of the better parts of the movie. Thought he was way better than Domhnall Gleeson's generic Nazi dude in Force Awakens. But Forrest Whitaker had no reason to be in this movie whatsoever. His character is just odd, his voice is really high, his scenes with him and the pilot guy's okay, I kinda liked him, I don't remember his name, actually I think it was Bodie, or Bogey, or Boogie, or Booger, or something like that. The pilot dude was good, but his scenes with Forrest Whitaker, it's like, why is this happening? We don't need to see this. Can we just skip past this? Donnie Yen's probably the best character in the movie. He's the blind stick guy from Ip Man who's like crazy good at martial arts, and he's also all like the Force, even though he technically can't use the Force. But his side buddy character is just the side buddy character. He's like, that's the problem. The biggest issue with this movie is that these characters kinda suck. The droid character's got a 50-50 split of being cool and sarcastic and then of just being awkward. Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones, the main character, the one that's supposed to be driving us through this movie, is fine. She's functional, she's good, she's okay, she works. She's attractive enough, but you compare her to Daisy Ridley, and she does not have half the charisma. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Am I forgetting somebody? Yeah, I'm forgetting somebody. It's the fucking male lead in the movie. Who is this guy? I don't even remember his damn name. I'm gonna call him Prince Caspian, because I think it sounded something like that. This Prince Caspian guy, he sucked! I hated him! He was a boring guy. He's not a flat guy. He's not a one-dimensional character, technically, because they're gonna be like, oh, you're just upset because they have a character who isn't 100% good. It's like, no, I like that moral dilemma that they give him. I just wish they gave it to somebody who's actually a good, interesting character. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much backstory you throw on somebody. He's just boring. He's not fun to watch. And in a big budget blockbuster action flick, that's kind of a problem. The beginning of the movie jumps around from planet to planet to planet, like collecting all these people. And I'm like, could we have just can we not just start with them all together? And it's not me saying that like, oh, I didn't really care about that in the movie. I'm just saying, oh, if I look at it from a technical standpoint, this editing was kind of choppy. And maybe this scene wasn't essential to the plot. No, I'm saying, I don't care about you. I don't care about you. I don't care what you're doing. And I'm bored right now. My mind should not be wandering in a Star Wars movie. Jyn Erso, though, she's pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie. Her eyes, too, like, especially her eyes. There's actually a point in the movie where she's wearing Death Trooper armor, you see it in the trailer, and she's got a helmet on, and you only see her eyes, and I'm like, I think she just got hotter. How does that happen? By showing less of her body, she became more attractive. Hashtag modest is hottest. I feel like it should go without saying that the effects and the production in this movie are fantastic. When you can't tell what's CGI, what's practical effects, that's a very good sign. Aside from two CGI characters who, while they were cool to see, definitely stood out. The action in the first half of the movie is a few smaller skirmishes, and it's good. It's fine. It's entertaining enough. It's well done. It's well produced. It does feel slightly more gritty than the average Star Wars movie, but I'm not gonna say it doesn't feel like this heavy R-rated war film that a lot of people were pushing this movie as. It's not, primarily because of the score. The score is still this jumpy contest to see how many notes we can hit in the soundtrack in as short a period of time. The actual Rogue One title theme I liked a lot because it starts off as the original Star Wars theme and then it branches to something else, so that was cool. And there are two moments in the movie where the music swells and you will know them when you see them, and they are great. Now, I know it's a running joke at this point with the stormtroopers and how incompetent they are, but it is getting kind of ridiculous at this point. You will see a stormtrooper aiming down the sights, like the gun is up to his eye, as Jyn Erso passes in front of him, freaks out, takes a couple seconds to turn around, and he's going, pew, 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 pew. It's like, come on, man. It's like, we are in a street-filled city full of cover, so let's stand in the open and get blown away. And you'll even see a stormtrooper with a gun in his hand running at Donnie Yen's character to get swacked in the face. I guess the lines for Stormtrooper School and Baton Running School might have gotten switched at that one point. It was cool seeing Donnie Yen go all Ip Man on a bunch of Stormtroopers, primarily because the camera didn't follow every damn stick into every damn Stormtrooper body part, so you could actually see what was happening. The camera just sat back, moved left a little, moved right a little. It would cut here and there so that you could see the action from a different angle. That is how you film a hand-to-hand combat scene. Now, the back half of this movie, phenomenal. It is just this huge-ass scale battle, and it kicks all kinds of ass. There is this beach fight that you saw in the trailers with AT-ATs. It is like the most large-scale thing that's ever happened in a Star Wars movie. There's ships fighting up in space, trying to make contact with the ground. The ground is holding off, and X-Wings are coming in and providing support. It is full-on war, and it is awesome. The effects and the camera work, sometimes it's from the ground looking up at AT-ATs as they pass through smoke, and it reminds you of Godzilla. And then there's a shot that's nice and high that shows all these ships passing by AT-ATs, and there's all these little guys on the ground. It's extraordinarily well done. It really is. Makes me wish that there was a game where we could do that with Star Wars large-scale battles. Wouldn't that be nice? Now, if excessively porny shots of Star Destroyers turn you on, you might not want to see this in theaters in front of everybody. Because they are huge. They're not gray like they were in the original trilogy. They are like white, and they look fantastic, and they are warping in, and there are shadows going over them. They look cool. Star Destroyers are freaking awesome. Never switched to IMAX though. See, I thought this was the movie that was going to be the first one filmed in IMAX when they first announced it. Turns out that was Sully, and this didn't switch IMAX aspect ratios at all, which is disappointing. Now, it was very clearly filmed on a high-resolution, fancy camera, and I'll put whatever one it was down here, but seeing it in a real IMAX theater, and we have a legit IMAX projector, like, it never changed aspect ratios. And for some of the huge-scale battles and space porn, it would have been really nice to open up the frame a little. Especially since some of the trailers in front of the movie switched to the IMAX aspect ratio. So that was a little disappointing. I can say 3D was fine. I forgot I was watching it in 3D a few minutes in. Can I just say I love the calamari, both in Return of the Jedi and in this movie. They look ridiculous, but they are the most dedicated, fearless members in this whole rebellion. And watching them swivel around in their chairs and bark out orders is awesome. Fair warning, I just want to prepare you for something before you see the movie in case you didn't know. Darth Vader is in 2 scenes. Darth Vader has 2 scenes. They are 2 very brief scenes. Are they 2 extraordinarily satisfying fan service scenes? Oh yeah. And I gotta say that by the end of this movie, even though there aren't nearly as many characters from the original trilogy, this felt more like an original trilogy callback than Force Awakens did. Because the plot events in this movie like directly influence the entire original trilogy. I have to say, as a 2-hour-plus film, there are definitely some serious issues in that first half, but I think the second half alone is worth the price of admission. I will probably end up buying it on Blu-ray just for the back half of this movie alone. It's just a shame that the characters weren't nearly as interesting as they were in Force Awakens. So I think Force Awakens is a little better, but I'm gonna give Rogue One an 8 out of 10. Not gonna lie, that one scene was pretty sweet. You know what scene I'm talking about. That was a scene. Oh yes, it was.